Alright, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Mass Ranker back again with another ranking, and today we are doing a ranking for the John Wick franchise characters. I finally finished reviewing all the John Wick movies. I did a tier list for all of the movies, and now I am doing a tier list for all the characters in the franchise. This is the third recording I'm doing because the first two, there were issues that came up that I had to stop the recording for, and so this is the third time I'm doing it, so hopefully this, I don't have to end this prematurely. I do have to go in about an hour, and no one is in the house currently, and so I have time now, and so hopefully I will be able to get this done before I have to go. So yeah, this shouldn't take an hour hopefully, but we'll see, and yeah, let's just begin. One more thing, if there is a character here, there's a lot of characters here. If there's one that I don't remember the name of, it is not like the anime character tier list where I had Anime Planet, which has a nice concise list of all the characters and their names, so I don't feel like going on a scavenger hunt or a wild goose chase to try to find what the characters' names are, so I am just going to refer to them by the role that they played in the franchise. Anyway, so let us begin, starting off with the first character, which is Viggo's brother, who I would give C tier. He was in the start of the chapter 2. He basically just had a truce with John. John was like, okay, I won't mess with you, just give me my car back. And then Viggo was like, you know what, fine, I don't want the smoke, I will agree to those terms. And yeah, that's all he really did. And so because there is not much to go off of his character, I would just give him C tier. Moving on, this is the bartender lady that spoke with John in the first movie. This was basically just to establish the fact that John he knows a lot of people in the underground criminal world, and he has friends in the Continental, and that is pretty much all that she did. She was in one scene for like less than a minute, so I really can't rank her higher than F tier. Like, I guess F tier kind of implies it's like a bad character, but in this context, it's not like necessarily like they're a bad character. It's just that like they don't really compare to anyone higher in the list, I guess. Anyway, the adjudicator, solid B tier. I thought she did a good job as being the face of the high table. She had very much a presence in the third film, and she did pose a threat with the assets that she had, like with her contacts with like the high table and stuff, and being able to like deconsecrate the Continental and stuff. It was very it was deconsecrate, right? In the fourth film, they did something else to the Continental, which was like I forgot the term, but it was like to make it like not holy anymore, something like that. But yeah, deconsecrate was what the adjudicator did. So B tier, I thought she was, pretty good. The deaf assassin, I didn't really like her, to be honest. She was it was cool like with the whole deaf thing with like the sign language like between her and John, but other than that, like she was just Santino's bodyguard, and she just basically just was like, she didn't have anything to her character. She was just like trying to go kill John Wick, and that was it. She's basically just another, there's usually like in all these movies there's like kind of like a character that's like not really named, or you really get a lot of like time to, but that just shows up often. Like in chapter 2, it was this character. In like the fourth movie, it was this guy here. Yeah, I don't know who it would really be in the third or first movie, but like there are those characters that like they just kind of show up, and they're in like a lot of the fight scenes, and then they don't end up dying until like much later on in the film. Anyway, moving on, this guy, I hated this guy. He is one of my least favorite characters in the franchise. I did not like him. He was basically just the guy that worked for Viggo, and he was American, and the whole thing with him was that like he just didn't understand what Viggo was saying sometimes in Russian. He did manage to get a shot off on John Wick at the end, but that didn't go anywhere, and then he ultimately ended up dying. So I didn't really like his character. This guy, he was the mechanic that ended up, he like punched Isov after Isov told him about what he did to Wick and his dog and his car. And yeah, he was just basically the one that was like helping out Wick with his car. He fixed up his car in the second movie, and yeah, so he was a good character. I liked him. He was good in the few scenes that he was in. This guy, I would give him like a B tier. I'd say this was Sophia's boss in the third movie. He directed John to the man that sits above the table, and I did like that. He was like cool for that scene with like he was talking about like the origins of the word assassin and stuff, and that was like cool stuff, I'd say. And he did ultimately shoot a dog, which did make him a pretty good villain, I'd say. This is I forgot this guy's name. His name was like not Sharon, because that's like Lance Reddick's character, but he was I forgot his name, but he was the protector of Santino's sister in the second movie. I'd probably say he's like a high B tier. He did have like good moments where he spoke with John at the bar, when he fought John in the subway, the shootout scene with the silencers. A lot of like, he had some good action scenes, him against John. So he was a pretty, like top of B tier, I'd say, like pretty mid-tier character. Donnie Yen, I loved him. He was great. Kane was just a wonderful addition as this blind assassin that does not want to go after Wick, but he has no choice because the Marquise is blackmailing Kane with the threat of posing harm to his daughter, so he ultimately has to go up against John. And him being blind gives like a very cool different like character that you can him being blind gives his character like a lot of uniqueness, where he fights in like a very different style, where it's like his gunshots are very sporadic. He uses his like sword a lot. It's a lot of good his cane, which is like a sword basically acts as gives a lot of good hand-to-hand combat stuff. He uses like devices to help track where people are. It's all very cool stuff, and Donnie Yen does a great job in the role. This guy is, I think his name was Charlie. He was basically the cleanup guy that would just end up cleaning up. I'd give him high C tier. He was just the guy that like basically you'd call him if you killed someone and then you need a cleanup job done. So that was, it was high C tier. Like he didn't really do. He was in like the first movie, and I think just the first movie, actually. I don't remember him being in the second movie. Maybe he was in the second movie, but I don't remember him past the first movie. So yeah, high C tier. I'd say nothing more than that, really. This guy, I didn't like this guy either. He was probably a bit better than... he did one cool thing, which was at the Osaka Continental. He did like block an arrow with his arm, which I did think was cool. But other than that, like he just kept showing up in the fourth movie, and then he just kept on failing to kill Wick. So it's like, I don't know, when you have like just a character that doesn't like, they're not talking a lot, like at least like Zero, like later on, he talks a lot throughout the entire film, even if, and like he's charming and charismatic, like even if he fails to kill Wick, it's like at least he's like cool to watch and stuff. But with the deaf assassin and like this guy that barely talks, it's like they just show up and there's nothing to their characters, and it's like they never die until the end of the movie. So I don't like their characters. The dog, I will give the dog I'll give it, it's hard to rank the dog because the dog, she does play like a very pivotal role in the franchise of being like the one that like kind of sets John on the path to vengeance. The dog, ultimately, she is the victim of Eastoff, and then because of that, John gets back into the world of assassins. But she's only in the first movie, I'd say. So because of that, I'm just gonna give her, I guess I don't know, like it's hard to rank like animals and stuff because ultimately, like, especially if like they're not in the franchise for that long, like. She's not in the franchise, like Daisy, her name was, that I just remembered. So I'll give her like mid C tier. Like I just can't say anything about the character because she's not like, she plays a pivotal role, but like she's not in the franchise other than like the very start of the first movie. So anyway, moving on, the director, she was in chapter 3. I don't really remember seeing her in chapter 4, and then she did play a big role in Ballerina. And I would say she is definitely I'd say like mid B tier, low B tier, I'd say. She was fine. She was cool. Like in chapter 3, like giving. I like how she says like Jardani instead of John. I like how everyone like kind of has a different way of like saying his name. Like some people say John, some people say Mr. Wick. You have Winston that says Jonathan. You have her that says Jardani, and it is cool where it's like yeah. So she was good as like this the person that was in charge of the Ruska Roma, I think that was his name. Ruska Roma, yeah, Ruska Roma. So yeah, she was good. She was good as like this person that was in charge of that organization. Yeah, so not really much to say about her, but low B tier, I'd say. This is the second dog that John had, and I'm just gonna put him, I guess, slightly. Which one was better in my opinion? I don't know, like. I guess I did like the newer dog slightly better because you did just see more of him. So I think this one was a he, not a her. I think Daisy was a girl and this one was a boy. So I like the dog. He was good. Like, it's a dog. He was cool with like Lance Reddick. He was with him for a bit. He wasn't really John's dog. He was like John's dog, and then Sharon took care of him, and then like he kind of became King's dog. So yeah, there is like yeah, he's got a lot of owners and stuff, but yeah, he was good. He was like just kind of like there for the ride, I guess, as like a dog companion. So mid C tier, nothing more to say. This guy, he was I think this is a basketball player actually, this actor, and he was very cool. He was the one that Ernest, yeah, he fought John in the library before his excommunicado officially started, and that was a cool scene. I liked it a lot, and I would say probably like mid B tier. It was cool for the one scene. He was very tall, so like he had a very good reach on John. So yeah, I would say probably just mid B tier. Yeah. Moving on, this is Santino's sister, and I would probably just give her like a, yeah, I don't know, like you barely see her also, so I'm gonna put her like a low C tier. She's in like one scene, and it's just basically saying like I'm gonna kill myself because like I want to be in charge of my own death. But then it's like, okay, well, I mean, if you don't have a choice, then it's really a choice at that point. Like, it's like I'll show you, I'm gonna kill myself, and then like, okay, it doesn't change anything really, but whatever. So she's in one scene. That's it. Like, there's nothing really to say about her character too much. But yeah, she was fine. I don't know, not really memorable. So low C tier. This guy, Henry, he was in the first movie. He was a friend of John, and he ended up doing catch and release. He like was watching Perkins, and then he ended up dying. So I liked him. He was good. I like the characters that are like you don't see them too much, but it's like they're a friend of John, and it's like it shows how like John is like very well connected. So I do like that. As I'll say like where would I put him? I put him B tier somewhere, and I would say low B. Was he better than the director? Yeah, I'd say a bit. Yeah, I liked him. I thought he was better in the bit that he was in a bit more than the director. So yeah, low B tier, I'd say. This is Helen. This was John's wife, and she really wasn't in the movie too much. Like I'll have to give her like I guess she was better than Santino's sister, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Like she was basically just the motivation for like John to leave the life of the assassins. And then ultimately she dies, and so it puts John in grief. And so there are characters like this, like her and like Daisy, like they play they're good as in for the purpose of motivating John and causing him to like and like for the progression of his character. But like in terms of like characters on their own for themselves, it's like they don't really serve a bigger purpose other than that. This is Esof, and I will say he was probably give him like a. I'd say like that. That's good. Yeah, mid B tier. I liked it. He was good for like this very cocky brat that is his father is like a very powerful man, and then ultimately he messes with the wrong guy that happens to be like he's just this stupid kid that ends up messing with like the worst possible person you can mess with. It's like the Grim Reaper, the Baba Yaga, like just in retirement for 5 years, and it's like he happens to end up choosing him to be the one that he ends up robbing, and because of that he just sets all this like so much stuff in motion. Like this ends up causing like the death of like hundreds of thousands. I'm not gonna say thousands, I don't think it was thousands, but definitely hundreds of people. And yeah, so he did play the role of like a good he played the role of like this very naive teenager well, I'd say. Moving on, this is who is this? This is Jimmy. So he's similar to like Henry, where it's like just this guy that John knows that I'll say like a bit. I like him a bit better than Henry, like because I like the scenes where it's like he was just he would check on John. He's like, oh John, you working again? And it's like they both have an understanding of like what's going on, and it's like they're just like yeah, it's like Jimmy's just like no matter what John said, he's like was there like a gas leak here? It's like he's like he knows what's up, but he's like he can't like say anything directly. So I like that about him. Here we go, John Wick. I will put him definitely S tier. Was he better than Kane though? That's a good question. I do think, Donnie Yen's performance was probably better than Keanu Reeves because Donnie Yen, he is a bit more charming. John Wick's character, like in general, he's not he's not a very charming character. Like he has a presence and he's a very very straightforward, very I don't know the word really, but like he's very stale, kind of very like straightforward. I'd say like basically. Not very charismatic and stuff, very one note, and so they're very different characters, and so I'm wondering like which one I would personally think is better. I think probably I would say I did like Donnie Yen's character. I did like Kane a bit better, just because I prefer, I guess, the more charismatic type of character rather than the character that's like very. John is still like he's a very I don't know the word, like it's not bleak I want to say, but it's like he says like yeah a lot, like he's very like he talks in like very few words and stuff like that, and he does have moments where it's like he very much can convey emotion, like the I'm back scene. He's like he cries and stuff, and like he gets upset, like he very much can portray emotion, but like he's not I don't know, I like Kane's character a bit better. rather than John Wick, I'd say. He is still John Wick, so obviously he's still an S tier character. I think that just Kane, though, is ultimately, I think it just comes down to the fact that like Kane's character type, I think, is just more so one that I like better than John Wick's, I'd say. This is the runner of the Roman Continental, and he wasn't in it. He wasn't in the movie much. He was in basically like 2 scenes where he welcomes John to the Rome Continental, and then he tells them to go to the bar, him and this guy, when they end up starting to fight in the Continental. I will say he is probably, was he better than the Adjudicator? No, I wouldn't say so. Was he better than Esau? No, I wouldn't say, but he was probably better than Ernest. Yes, he was like good. He was a mid B tier, like very standard, like just business guy in the world of This Assassins, I'd say. This is I forgot her name, but she was the one that like ended up getting John. She sponsored John for like his duel with the Marquise, and so she was basically the one that let John back into the family, and she was good. Like probably I would say she's not very memorable, so I would probably say like I guess she was I like Jimmy a bit more, and yeah, but I guess she was a bit better than Henry, I'd say. Yeah, so I did like how like she got upset at John, but then ultimately like he did make the deal, and like she was like willing to make a deal with him if like he would get revenge for her for like Peter's death. It's like Peter, but it's spelled weird. It's like with a Y. So yeah, she was good, I'd say. And yeah, about like a mid to low B tier, I'd say. Moving on, this guy, this was Killa, something like that, and I liked him. He was definitely an S tier character, I would say. And also, I would say probably above John. I'd say I liked him a bit more. Like he is ultimately, yeah, I like him more than Kane though. I wouldn't say so, but he is like a very charming, charismatic character. Which once again, I think I just like that character type better than the stoic. That's the word I was looking for John. John is a very stoic character. He doesn't say much, and ultimately, I like the character that's able to like be more charming and charismatic. So. Yeah, so he was very good, liked his scene. He was in like one scene basically with the poker scene with Kane, Mr. Nobody, and John, and then it was a very good scene. It was like honestly one of the best in the entire franchise. And then he like did have a fight with John and stuff, and John ended up killing him. And just a great character. Very like he wasn't in the movie for long, but the bit that he was in, just wonderful. Liked it a lot. Okay, now before I even did this video, I was looking at this guy. This is the only character on the entire list. I don't know who this is. And I could not tell you. Like, I think it may just be someone from like the first movie, like a nameless grunt like that was working for Vigo, I guess. I cannot tell you who this is. And because of that reason, I guess I'm gonna put him like, I guess he wasn't annoying, so he's better than this guy who I found very annoying, but he's like, yeah, he's just, I cannot tell you anything about this guy because I just don't remember him at all. He kind of looks like John Hamm, but I looked it up and it's not John Hamm. So, and I tried to find out who this is by like, I did like John Wick neck tattoo and to try to find out who this was, but nothing really came up. So, yeah. Anyway, Koji, this is the runner of the Osaka Continental, and he also was like I liked him more than the Roman Continental guy, and I liked him more than Esau, I'd say. Probably more than, I'd say like high B tier, I'd say. He was good. I liked him. I liked him as like he was like this. He's a friend of John, and he still, even though John is an excommunicado, he's still willing to welcome him into his home and provide service for John. I thought that was good. He does ultimately die at the hands of Kane, and he was good. I liked him for the bit that he was in at the start of the chapter 4. Willem Dafoe's character, I don't remember his name. For some reason, my mind's telling me like Simon, but I don't think that's it. Yeah, so he was in the first movie. He was basically just a friend to John, and you do think like he's like at the start of the movie, he's at like Helen's funeral, and then he sees John. And it's like John's like, "Why are you here?" And he's like just checking on a friend. And ultimately, like he is really like he does get contracted by Vigo to kill John, but ultimately he does decide like he ends up just being a real like friend to John and just protecting him. He ends up warning him about Perkins before she ends up getting to him, and he does end up paying the price for being a friend to John. So I would say. I'm not going to go A tier, but I will say top of B tier. He was a great character. liked him and the role that he played. He's not very memorable, and I would say like probably like a lot of people probably don't really remember that like Willem Dafoe was even in the John Wick movies, like because at least I forgot, like when I was like rewatching the movies. Not on this rewatch, but I think the first rewatch I did, I was surprised, like, oh yeah, Willem Dafoe's in this. I don't remember that because he is like in the first movie and then he just dies and then you don't remember him afterwards. So yeah, he was good in the first movie. And yeah, the Marquis I liked a lot. I would give it a solid A tier. This was the best villain in my opinion, and I would probably definitely higher than the mechanic guy. He was a very good. They did a very good job of like blending like Santino's like charisma, kind of like high class flair, with the adjudicators like rules and like high table status. So they did a good job of like blending the two to get this like guy that's like he's very formal. He's very like he talks about the rules and stuff and like order and like consequences and stuff, but he does still have the flair that like you want from a villain. So Bill Skarsgård, he did a great job playing the role, and yeah, ultimately top of A tier. This is Perkins. She is the one that breaks the rules of the Continental in the first movie. She ends up killing Henry, and because of that, she pays the price for it. She ends up dying at the hands of Winston and his Continental workers. So I didn't really like her character, like just because like she's a hateable character, like that's kind of the purpose of her character. And it is interesting, like for a character, like when you make a character to be hated, it's like if you accomplish, it's kind of like not a paradox, but it's like if you succeed in your goal, then the character will end up being like a character that people don't like. But that's your goal for it. So it's like if you fail in that goal, it's like, you see what I'm saying? You probably tell what I'm saying. Anyway, so that aside, I would probably give her, yeah, I didn't like her character, but for the purpose, like the rest of these, like here, this guy over here, I don't like him, but not because he's meant to be hateable. It's like I don't like him for the purpose of like because like just I found him annoying. So but I don't like her because she is like meant to be hated, I guess. So, or maybe she's not even meant to be hated. Maybe I'm like reading too much into this or something. Anyway, I would give her F tier, and probably, did I like her more than the Deaf Assassin? No, I didn't. Did I like her more than the bartender lady? Yeah, yes, the bartender lady I barely remember even. So anyway, moving on, Santino, I would probably give like A tier. Yeah, I'd say I liked him. He was good. I thought that he played a good villain. He was like, I liked the fact that he went to meet John and he was like, listen, I don't want to have to do this. If you stayed in retirement, I would have respected it, but you came back here, and so I'm bringing out the Baba Yaga here. I need his help. And and John's like, please get someone else, please. I don't want to do this. And it's like, and then Santino's like, fine, like have it your way. And then he comes back, bombs his house, and then John like reluctantly has to go on with it because he does have the marker. And then he could have ended things after John completed his mission. He could have been like, okay, you know what you did, I'm not going to push this further. But then he was like, well, I mean, I'm her brother. I have no choice. I have to put a $7 million bounty on you. And then he does that. And then, so then that kind of causes John to break excommunicado. And then it's like, it basically becomes, after that point, it's him versus the High Table, which is like a very interesting conflict. So he is a good villain. He's probably like, what I'd say, I don't remember what I said the best thing about chapter 2 is, but I should have, if I didn't give him the props that he deserved, he does deserve more props than maybe I give him. I also want to mention something that I don't think I've mentioned up to this point in any of my videos. It will be 100% the case that I say something in one video that I will probably contradict in a future video. Like I may say something like, oh, I think this character is good, but then later on I'll say like, oh, I didn't like this character or something. Or I may say like, oh, I didn't like this character, but then I will say later on, no, actually I thought they were good. Because when you watch so much media and stuff and you consume with the amount of characters there are here, it's like I can't have a 100% accurate opinion on, like, the majority of my opinions are going to be consistent, but there are going to be every so often, like here and there might be something that I say that like contradicts something that I said in the past. But like part of it is just because I maybe haven't formulated my opinion back then. Part of it may just be because my opinion shift over time. But just, yeah, like the majority of my opinions, when I like state them, it's like, yeah, it's my opinion, but it's like, it's never going to be like 100% accurate. There will be like the margin of error where it's like, it's more like 95% of it is like accurate. So like I still stand by most of my opinions that I've said about like pretty much every review I've done up to this point. It's just that specific details I may contradict here and there. So just, if I never said that up to that point, and I was actually thinking about that like in the past, like I should mention that at some point. So I'm mentioning it now. Like you will probably find like if you find a contradiction somewhere that I've said at some point, and like between one clip and another clip, like, yeah, okay, I understand, like there will be contradictions every so often, so just, I'm aware of it, okay? I'm like, I don't know what to say about it. Anyway, moving on, I don't even know who we were on. I think I just did, yeah, that was Santino, I think. So these were the two guys that ended up fighting John in Parabellum. These were the students of Zero, and I like them. I would say that they were probably above the mechanic guy, and did I like them more? No, I wouldn't say I like them more than Santino, but they were good. I like them. They had this respect for John where they wanted to fight him on equal terms. They very much respected him and not looked up to him, but like they very much had a very profound respect for him, where it's like they, like even when he fell on the ground, it's like they weren't about to kill him because they wanted to fight him like fairly, I guess, or it's like, so I did like that about their characters. They were like the only henchmen, I'd say, in the, not henchmen, but like they were kind of like the only nameless assassins. Like in every movie you do have like the assassins that are like more so named, like you have Zero, Kane, the deaf lady, which I don't remember her name, this guy that where is he? This guy that I also don't remember his name, but then you have like the nameless guys. These are kind of like the nameless guys, but it's like, they do still like leave a presence, I would say. Anyway, Sophia, I would probably give her, I would say B tier somewhere. Did I like her more than Esaf? Yes. Did I like her more than the Adjudicator? That's a good question. Yeah, I'd say so. Did I like her more than this guy? Yeah. Did I like her more than the Osaka Continental dude? No. I thought that Halle Berry did a good job of the character. She was good. She was like this character from John's past that she very much did not want to get involved with John. That's like pretty much every character with John, to be honest. Like they don't want to get involved with him, but she like very much was like the most upset about John returning. She was like going to kill him, but then John was like, no, wait, you have to help me out. I have a marker. And then she really didn't want to do it, but she was like very reluctant to help him. And then ultimately she did help him. And then she wasn't in the movie for long, but it was good when she was. It was, yeah, so mid B tier. This guy, I like this guy. He was cool. He was like barely in the film, but the bit that he was in was very, very good with like basically the gun chopping scene that he was with John, which is one of the best scenes in the entire franchise. And for that reason, like he's barely in it, but I will give him a, I'll put him like mid B tier. Sorry, not mid B tier, mid A tier, I would say. Was he better than Santino? No, I wouldn't say he's better than Santino, but I did really like his whole scene where he's basically just like telling John about all the weaponry and stuff. It is a very cool scene. It is one of my favorites in the franchise, and I liked it a lot. They did something similar to that in Ballerina, where they had like, he's not in this tier list because I actually couldn't find a picture of him, but the character Frank in Ballerina, they did have like a similar scene where it's like Frank is explaining to Eve the weaponry that he was showing her, but ultimately they got interrupted by the cult that was going after Eve. So yeah, wasn't as good as the scene from chapter 2, but yeah, that honestly, I think I actually mentioned that in my review for chapter 2, that the gun chopping scene, like the preparation scene, was like my favorite thing in the movie. I think I said that. If I didn't, then it was at least one of my favorite scenes. Moving on, this was the just the sumo guy that attacked John. Not sumo, but he was a very big dude that ended up going after John in the second movie. I really thought it was the third movie, but it was the second movie where he already has the $7 million bounty on him. So this guy ended up attacking him, and he does leave a very lasting impression. Like the whole scene where it's like John is getting attacked. This was also like the same scene as like this woman, the woman with the violin. Also the guys that attacked him, that John ended up killing them with a pencil. So it was a very memorable scene. So this guy actually, even if he is like some nameless guy, he does leave an impression, I would say. And so I will give him a C tier, bottom C tier, I'd say. Like he is definitely like memorable, but nothing much more other than that one scene he was in. King, definitely an S tier character. And did I like him more than John? I did like him. I really liked Lawrence Fishburne's performance. And did I like him more than Killa? I think his name is Killa, I'm not sure. I liked it more, yeah. Did I like him more than Kane though? Honestly, yeah, I think this was like honestly one of my favorite characters in the entire franchise. King is just great. Every single scene that he's in, it's like never a bad scene. Lawrence Fishburne, he has this like very charming personality. Like every scene with like all his quotes are great. No matter what he says, it's like always cool to hear. He is like the king of like the homeless people, I guess, of New York, and he has this like elaborate network of homeless people where he gets a lot of information from. He is resourceful. He's the one that's like basically backing John. He's pretty much like besides Winston. Winston's kind of like meant to be neutral, but yeah, King is like the one that's really helping out John, like providing him with like weaponry and stuff, which like Winston also does like in chapter 3 at the end, but like he's more so doing it to protect himself. Not to protect himself, like he's also obviously Winston like cares about John. He did want to help John, but King like really he pulls through for John out of anyone in the franchise, I would say. The Doctor from Parabellum, I will give him I would say A tier. I liked him a lot. I would give him probably better than the suit up scene, better than the gun shopping scene. Was he better than I did like him better than Santino. Not because of the Marquise though. I did like him. He was in the first movie. You don't see him really except for like one scene that John calls him. But then in the third scene, it was like really great. It was like when 5 minutes left before the excommunicado starts, and it's like he like says like, please, I still have more time, and then the doctor's like he's like, okay, I'll help you out. And it's like he's doing surgery, and then suddenly it's like excommunicado starts. He has no choice; he has to stop. But it's like he didn't stop on the dime, or it's like he says he did, but it's like they'll never believe me. So it's like, okay, he helps John out. He even like tells him where the medicine is, and then he's like, okay, here, I need you to shoot me, otherwise like they're not gonna believe me, and they're gonna end up killing me. So it's like John shoots him like in the near the intestines area, like that area, like near the hips, and then in the shoulder. And so yeah, great scene with him, liked him, and really once again like he really helped like with the whole like suspense of like the beginning of chapter 3 is one of my it is my favorite beginning out of any of the movies in the franchise, and he really helped with that, like really helped with the tense dramatic nature of it. So anyway, this is the one that sits above the table. He was good in like chapter 3 where he did end up like giving John a way back into like a way out of excommunicado, but then like he's in chapter 4, he just lets himself get found, where it's like established in chapter 3 that it's like you can't find him, he finds you. So it's like he lets himself get found, he has like no guards near him, and then he just ends up dying. So I don't really have he just nothing really to say about that. Like nothing really ended up going anywhere with him. So I'll just give him like I don't know, is it C tier? Was it C tier worthy? Was he better than the sumo guy? No, he wasn't. Was he better than Charlie? I would say better than Charlie, yeah. He did leave a bit of an impression. The Harbinger, this was Dan, what's his name? It was I forgot the guy, it was the guy that voiced Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob. I forgot. It was don't remember, Clancy something, I think. Clancy Brown might have been his name. I'm not sure. So yeah, he was good. I liked him. He was the Harbinger. I would give him a solid. Would I give him an A tier? I'd give him A tier. He was cool. He was better than the mechanic. Was he better than the? Yeah, he was better than the assassin dudes. Was he better than the? Yeah, he was better than them. Was he better than Santino? That's a good question. I would say, yeah, he was. Was he better than the Doctor? No, he wasn't. Yeah, the Harbinger guy, he was cool. He was very like, he was very much like another like kind of representation of the High Table. Although he was probably like, if anything, the most neutral representation of like any. He was kind of like the embodiment of the rules of the world, kind of, because the Harbinger, she was the representation of the High Table. So was the Marquise, but they both had like a very like a lot of cynicism to them, where it's like they very much wanted like to get John and like to make sure that like he pays. The Harbinger was like he felt very neutral. He's like, okay, I'm here to like give you the information you need. Like he was like the guy that was the moderator of the terms agreements of the duel between the Marquise and John in the 4th movie. So he was very it was good. He did a good job, and yeah. Clancy Brown, very good actor, very good voice actor for. This isn't about Mr. Krabs, but honorable mention, I guess. So, yeah, this guy. This is I forgot his the actor's name. I think it's like Jason Mendoza or something like that. Was Mendoza his name in Brooklyn Nine-Nine? I don't remember, but this is the actor that he voices Rex Bode in Invincible. But he is the actor. He plays the homeless guy in chapter 3. He was good. He basically just like, I think he brought John to King at the end of the 3rd chapter, and he was like the TikTok. I think that's actually his name in the credits of the movie, the TikTok guy. So yeah, he was good. Not really very memorable, but you know, he was in a few scenes here and there, so I liked him. So B tier, I would say, was he better than, let's see, was he better than Ernest? Yeah, a bit, I'd say. Was he better than yeah, I'd say. Was he better than Esau? That's a good question. I wouldn't say so. Anyway, Mr. Nobody, I liked him. I thought he was cool. I thought he was like this character, very interesting side to him. It was like he was this character that is kind of not really, he's going after John, but he's like a bounty hunter that is, and you haven't really, up to this point, you haven't really seen any bounty hunter that doesn't just like instantly die pretty much. Like every single bounty hunter that kind of goes against John, they end up dying. If they're specifically contacted by the, like if they're specifically contacted by the High Table, like Zero was, for example, then they kind of get a bit more time until they die. But if they're just some random assassin that goes after John, then they will end up dying pretty quickly. However, this guy, he was like on his own basically. He does end up getting contacted by the High Table, but he does have chances to kill John, but he doesn't end up doing it because he's waiting for his bounty to get higher, so that way he could get money to, I guess, retire. And I did like that. I would give him A tier, and he was probably... Why is this not working? What is going on here? Technical difficulties. I think my computer froze. Shit. Okay. Give me a second. I will be right back. Alrighty, the editing is going to be a B word, and yeah, not swearing because I don't want to get demonetized if I ever manage to apply for monetization. Anyway, so yeah, Mr. Nobody, I thought he was, why does this keep happening? What is going on here? Just a second. Okay, this is going to be an absolute nightmare to edit, but whatever, we are going to persevere. I ended up putting him right before the Marquise because that is where I felt like putting him. I thought he was a very good character and a good addition to the franchise. Moving on, we have Vigo, which I will put him probably, I would say like B tier somewhere. He wasn't really the best villain compared to like, if anything, he was like one of the worst villains in my opinion in the franchise. He was kind of like he was kind of like just put into the position of like having to. He didn't want to fight John, but it's like John was going to go after him no matter what. So it's like, or his son. So it's like he was like obviously going to protect his son. So because of that, I would say like, was he better than Willem Dafoe? Nah, I wouldn't say. Was he better than? No, I wasn't better than the Osaka guy. I guess he was a bit better than Sophia. Yeah. So that's where I would put him. This is the assassin that ended up, she was the violet. I would pretty much just put her right next to the sumo guy, a bit lower, because I like the sumo guy a bit more. His fight scene against John rather than hers. She was just basically the assassin that was going after the $7 million bounty on John. And so, yeah. Winston definitely S tier character, I'd say, and I would probably, not as good as John, I'd say, but definitely a very good character, definitely like the face of the Continental, pretty much, at least the New York one, and kind of like the gateway, like the introduction to the world of the assassins in the first movie, like very much the one that explains a lot of the rules and stuff. He is very much like a believer of the rules and stuff, and like but he is opposed to the High Table's methods, and he is great. Ian McShane does a great job in the role, and I liked him a lot. Yeah, just solid, low S tier character. Zero, I like Zero. He was definitely an S tier character for me. He's pretty similar to Kane in terms of like being an assassin. However, like one is much more. Here, I would say probably first I'll put him. He was better than Winston. I'd say I liked him more than Winston. I don't think I liked him more than John though. He was like very much he was similar to Kane in terms of like they both like very much fight with swords and like not as much with guns. So they were like basically like Zero was the one that was going after him in chapter 2, and Kane was the one going after him in chapter 4. Not chapter 2. Zero was going after him in chapter 3, and Kane was going after John in chapter 4. So I liked him. He was good. I liked his like he was very much he was kind of like the comic, not comic relief, but he had like a comedic side to him, which was nice. And it didn't feel out of place for the movie. Like it still felt like a very serious movie, but you did have the comedic bits, which did not feel off-putting. So I liked him. He was good, very good character, and it was nice that he was like a fan of John and not just trying to like he did respect John, similar to his students here. Sharon, I would give a solid, honestly, like B tier. I didn't like him as much as Willem Dafoe's character. He didn't do actually no, he did play a pretty big role in chapter 3, but I'll give him top of B tier. I'd say he was good. Rest in peace to Lance Reddick. He did a great job in the role of the character. He was a very good actor. Yeah, Sharon was good. He ended up dying in the 4th chapter, which I thought was a good way to establish the Marquis as a threat. And he was good. He was pretty much like the one that was just the assistant to Winston. He would help anyone that would enter the Continental. He would help them get to Winston, and he was basically the manager of the. He wasn't the manager, but he was like the guy that helped to run the Continental. In the 3rd movie, you did get some action with him. He did help out John against the armored guards, so that was cool for his character. And yeah, top of B tier, I'd say. This is the daughter of Koji, and she was basically just the she ended up she didn't want her father to help John by letting him into the Osaka Continental, but then obviously her father ends up ignoring her. He helps out John, and he dies because of it. And she basically is now currently, as of the franchise, she is on a she is after revenge for on Kane. I think at the end of chapter 4 there was like a post-credit scene where you do see she is on the hunt for Kane. She wants to get her revenge on Kane, and so yeah, interesting to see where that will go. And so I will put her she's pretty basic. It's a pretty basic, like, oh, her father died, she's after revenge. So it's like there's not really much to her character, really, I'd say. And because of that, was she better than her father? She was not as good as her father. Was she better than Vigo? That's a good question. Yeah, fine. I'd say she was a bit better than Vigo. I'd say like yeah, I guess it was like, it's interesting how it's like she opposes John and she's like after Kane. That's like pretty cool, I guess I'd say. Anyway, finally, the Ballerina characters. These are the ones I added on my own. These were not initially on the tier list. This guy is here. I'm just gonna pull up the image real quick because you don't have the full images. This was the one that was basically the main guy that was hunting Eve. That wasn't the Chancellor here. So he was pretty. He's like, again, just like he's similar to like the deaf assassin and this guy here, where it's like he's kind of just like the guy that kind of shows up throughout the movie, and then only towards the end does he end up really dying. So because of that, like he wasn't really he wasn't great. He's pretty similar to these guys, and I'm gonna put him below the deaf lady. I'd say like I didn't really care for him. I don't care for that kind of like character where it's like they don't speak throughout the entire movie really, or it's like they barely speak, and then okay, that doesn't apply to the deaf one, but yeah, I don't care for the one that's like they show up throughout the movie like going up against the character, but they're not a Zero, they're not a Kane, they're not a even this one, but he wasn't like throughout the entire movie. He was like kind of in the middle, and that's it. But like if you're not a Zero and you're not a Kane and you're not like you don't have like a personality to you, if you're not like a Mr. Nobody, then it's like, and you're just like this character that's like going after John Wick, and it's like you're failing to do so each time, or it's like I guess in his case it would be Eve. So yeah, I don't know, just not a fan. Eve, I would say she was interesting. She was like it was the first time we're getting like a different protagonist that's not John Wick, I would say, and because of that, she was, I would say, I liked Arna de Armas. I think that she is a good actress, but I would say that the character of Eve she definitely was not as interesting as John Wick. She is pretty much she kind of has like at least like she's her whole motivation is like her father died, she wants revenge for her father's death, so it's not really that interesting of a motivation, and so I will put her like was she better than Sharon? Not really. Was she better than the Osaka guy? Not really. Was she better than her? I guess she's like middle of B tier, I'd say. Yeah, she very much like I guess she's at a disadvantage. Like she did not get as much time to develop as like John Wick. Like we've seen his character like progress greatly. Her she's just like, she's an assassin. She wants revenge like on the Chancellor for killing her father, and that's like basically all there is to her character really. And yeah, she wasn't like as interesting of a protagonist as John Wick. It was like a different take on like the whole like John Wick world, which I thought was good that they're doing something like different and not just like I said in my review for Ballerina, like they're not piggybacking off of the John Wick property, and they are doing something like different with it, and they did utilize the characters they did utilize the property well of John Wick, and they utilized the characters in the world well. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, mid B tier, I'd say. This is Lena, who was the sister of Eve, who I didn't really, yeah, she was like, I don't know, that didn't really go anywhere. She was like revealed like, oh, she's her sister, and then like a few scenes later she ended up dying, so nothing really came of that, and so I don't really, didn't really care for her too much. So I would say, yeah, I would put her like a C tier somewhere, I guess. Like, what did she do? She really didn't do anything. Like, it might just be because it might just be because I didn't rewatch the movie yet, like I did with the other movies. I've only seen the movie once, but like her character is just not very memorable, I'd say. So I don't know, like low C tier, I'd say. I guess. Was she better than Helen? Not really. Was she better than? Yeah, I guess there's fine. Just, I don't know. Just, yeah. Anyway. No, yeah, I actually liked her. I thought she was a good addition to the world. I liked her a lot, actually. She was probably an A tier character. I liked her. I would say that she was better than the mechanic. I would say she was, I wouldn't say she was as good as like the students of Zero, but she was good. I liked her. She was like the one that was, she trained Eve. She like was speaking about the Kiki Mora? Yeah, Kiki Mora, where it was like the spirit that like can, attack the people that are evil but protect the ones that are innocent and stuff. And she was like she was good. I liked her. She was like she wasn't in the movie too much, but when she was in it, she was good. I liked her character. And yeah, Daniel Pine, I also liked him a lot. I thought that he was good. He was probably my favorite not my favorite new addition, but he was definitely a very cool character to see. He was like he was in a pretty similar position to Eve's father from the oh shit, I have to go in like 10 minutes. Okay, I have to start wrapping this up. It's fine, we only have 3 characters left. He was a good character for the, he was like in the position that Javier's, Eve's father was at the beginning of the movie, where it's like a guy that's trying to get his daughter out of the cult, I'm assuming. And so, yeah, and he ends up, it was cool. The actor that played him, I'm not really sure who he is, but he was good. I think I've seen him in a few other things. I would put him like, was he better than Eve? I liked him a bit more than Eve because he had like a father thing going on. He did survive, so hopefully we do get to see more of him. I did not like him more than the Osaka guy, though. This is the Chancellor, who, out of all the villains, I would say, like, I guess he was a bit better than, I wouldn't even say he was better than Vigo, to be honest. Like, Vigo, like, kind of, like, he wasn't really a villain, like, but he did have, like, an interesting, like, reason to be opposing John, where the Chancellor, like, he kind of was just, like, a cult leader, and we don't really have a lot of, yeah, like, he didn't end up even doing anything. He didn't fight, like, none of the villains really fought or anything, but he was, like, just, I don't know, he was just, like, a cult leader, and that was it. So I would put him, like, C tier somewhere. Not great. Did I like him more than the one above the table? No, I didn't. Did I like him more than Henry? No, I didn't. Did I like him more than this guy? I guess I liked him a bit more than this guy, but yeah, I accidentally moved something. What did I accidentally move? Was he here? I think he was there, right? Which one did I like better, the Deaf Assassin? Like, yeah, that's where it was. Yeah, so I didn't really care for the Chancellor. He wasn't that interesting of a villain. He was just like a cult leader, and he just wanted people to like stay in the town for like, I don't even know why. I don't know what the reasoning was for that, but that is, yeah, that's just where it ended up going with him. Anyway, finally, we have Javier Macaro, who was the father of Eve, and he was actually very cool. I liked him a lot, and he was the best addition to the franchise. He was the actor of Diego in The Umbrella Academy, and he was a very good character, I would say. I would probably put him above Santino, above the Harbinger, above the Doctor, I would say. Not as good as Mr. Nobody, though. I liked him. He was cool. He was very good. It's like he was very a capable fighter at the start. He had the whole thing with him, and then he ended up dying and he did it all to save Eve so that she could have a better life. And so she's after revenge Eve is trying to kill the Chancellor because of him killing her father. And so I liked him. He was very cool at the start of the movie, and my favorite addition out of all the new characters, I would say. I think this is pretty much everyone in the franchise. I don't think I missed anyone too soon. I know I missed like Frank from the Gear Up scene and Ballerina, but I couldn't find a picture of him. And if you're wondering where he would go, he'd probably go like B tier somewhere, probably like I don't know where specifically, I guess. If you're really wondering, he would go, I would say bottom of B tier, maybe I'd say, something like that. Anyway, yeah, I have to go soon. I have a haircut in like less than half an hour, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. So yeah, this was my tier list of the Ballerina slash John Wick characters. Yeah, so if you have any recommendations for any movies, shows, anime, video game stories, anything you want me to review or rank with rankings, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be media related. If you have anything you want to recommend, leave it in the comments. Yeah, with that said, though, that is pretty much all there is to it. So let's leave it at that.